Good morning, America. How's everybody doing this fine, wonderful Wednesday wet morning? It's have a freak storm system coming through, and then after today it's supposed to be sunshiny and rainbows and wonderful warm weather throughout the rest of the seemingly next rest of this week and all following on to next week. But I haven't posted in a while, guys. Haven't really had time to. Been kind of busy with events happening at work and events happening in my personal life, mainly being one of my daughter's birthdays, or my daughter's birthday. I made it sound like I have multiple children. I don't have multiple children, but it'd be my daughter's birthday, and we had I swear, you put more work into a kid's birthday party sometimes than you do actual work. It felt like it was crazy how it is, and it was just oh man, it was a lot of work, but it was very fun. It was super duper fun, and a comment from that birthday party came back to me, and it got me thinking about some weird stuff. See, the background on this, I'm gonna take off the hat. I don't feel like wearing it. But the background on this comment was, when you have a kid's birthday party, you bring in sides of the you bring in a bunch of family members from both sides, right? And not everybody's the same. And that's pretty obvious, right? I mean, it could be pretty obvious if and this was pretty obvious between my family and my wife's family, how different our families could vastly be. There was a comment thrown around that her family looked like they came out of a belt catalog, with matching shoes, matching the earrings and everything like that, looking like they come out of a belt catalog, which was very true. They didn't. They're prim and proper, they're primmed up and proper in that sense, right? In that way. And then there was a comment thrown, it's like, with Mac's family, it was all mullets. You don't know if they're going to show up drunk or not, take their shirt off and tackle you. And that's very true. I found that comment just super damn funny, because it was very accurate, because my family is wild folks and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that they're not trailer trash, but they're wild folks. I will say that they are definitely crazy, if you will. And it was just weird from like a friend's perspective, seeing the interactions between these two groups, because it was just weird seeing like these groups that you would never assume would even be remotely close to each other, and seeing the background where everybody come from. And it was just surprising to some people about the backgrounds we've all come from and stuff, and how that is and everything. But it got me thinking mainly about the concept of social norm, or social normality, if you will. What is it exactly? What dictates it to be in? Like, what is the social norm? What is considered normal by society members? Well, got me thinking, it's like, what is the standard for normal? Okay, what is normal? Well, normal is the average of a group or population and stuff, okay? It's the average, all right? And when you include that into social, like sociology, out of a group of a people, of a population and stuff, it is what dictates what is the normal for what you wear, is the normal for how relationships are viewed or expected to be viewed. It is viewed as to how a man should dress, or how a woman should dress, etc., etc. And in the past, this definition was very well defined. How do I put it? It was very established, if you will. And in today's world, it's not. And it just got me thinking about it, because my wife's a psychology, and I had a discussion with my wife, like, what is considered social norm? And people would consider how I dress and how I have my hair cut and how my wife dress and how my wife has the haircut, has her hair, and how she presents herself, etc., would be considered normal. However, it got me really thinking about what is that definition of normal, and it kind of made me think that we're not considered normal anymore because the definition of normal has changed. Now, in our area, we would be considered normal. In our rural area of America, we would be considered normal. However, if you took the broad aspect of America, and this is a very true aspect, because you've seen in the last election where everything was completely divided, it wasn't just a landslide for anybody, it was almost a 50-50 split, and you take an average of the 50-50, that definition of normal is fucking shot out the window, right? You don't know what is considered normal, you know? You don't know, like for instance, women can have short hair just like mine. Men can have long hair, colored hair, a different color, not just like, you know, the typical dye, have blonde highlights or anything like that. I'm talking about coloring it like blue or fucking pink. You know, that's considered normal. Wearing skinny jeans as a guy, I wouldn't wear skinny jeans as a guy, but it's not frowned upon anymore for a guy wearing skinny jeans. Women working, being the main bread maker of the household, that's considered normal, or a version of normal now. And it just goes to show what the definition of normal in your mind is not the actual definition of normal elsewhere. For instance, I'm pretty sure that if we went to a big city like Atlanta or Columbia and stayed there for a while and stuff, we would just be looking fucking weird, okay? Or, you know, bigger city, or even like city far from our home states. For instance, if we went to New York or LA or Miami, you know, places that are just super far out there and have vastly different cultures of what's considered normal, we would be just like, we would obviously just stick out because we don't fit in what that aspect of normal is. So it just got me thinking about it. It's like, what is normal? What is considered sorry, the allergies these days have got me fucked up. Jesus. I'll tell you what, that birthday party was fun and all, but man, that pollen is a killer. It is just I'm glad it is raining today because it gets to wash some of it away and stuff. But man, it was talking about when you saw a gust of wind, we have pine trees where I live, a lot of pine trees. In case you guys didn't know, pine trees produce pollen like nobody's business. I'm talking about it just, you can kick a pine tree, it seems like, and you would just get caked in a layer of pollen. And when a gust of wind came through, it just like, you saw just a dust cloud of pollen just fall off these dang trees, and you're like, good God. So I'm kind of glad that it is raining a little bit today. It gets to wash away some of that pollen that's built up. So anyways, yeah, it's like the concept of normal and what is normal is a definition that has changed drastically. Let's say within the past like 5 years, it seems like what's considered normal by societal means, and what you consider normal may not be considered normal by other people, is what I'm trying to get at. And you have to be more willing to accept that difference in normality, because my wife, it's fun. Let me just put it this way. I have what would be considered a standard type haircut. I get a fade my wife fades out the hair every now and then, and that's what I've had. I've had it for years, right? I've had this style of hair for years, and she likes men with short hair. Okay, I tried growing it out. I couldn't stand it because she couldn't stand it. I couldn't really enjoy it if she kept just nagging me about it, but I got to the point where I couldn't stand it, and so for me, I like shorter hair. Shorter hair just looks just looks the part for me, right? However, I have 2 brothers, and their hairstyles vastly differ from mine. If there was like a tree or a spectrum of 3 different points, we're touching a base on all 3 points. All right. One of my brothers has a dang mullet, and I'm not lying about that. He literally has a mullet. And the other one has hair longer than my wife's, and she just found it weird, and they shouldn't be doing that, yada yada yada. And I was like, it's not up to you what they do or anybody else or society or anything. It's what they want, really. It's like I think it looks fine on them, you know. It really does. And it just got us thinking. It's like, what is normal? Normal to you is not the same as normal to me. And you need to broaden, everybody in this world needs to broaden that definition of what's considered normal. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you should always have your standards in place as to what you believe and stuff, and you should stick with it, okay? But you got to be willing to accept that the standards are meant for you, not for other people. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very weird. Now, there are some standards I will fully keep to, regardless of the other person's decision. There is some standards I will always keep 100%. For instance, this is the biggest one for me. And I'm just gonna flat out say it. If you're a girl, you're a girl. If you're a boy, you're a boy. Okay? I don't agree with changing of that in any way. You can identify yourself as to whatever the fuck you want, but at the end of the day, you're still a girl and you're still a boy. Okay? You can take whatever hormonal pills you want to try changing your gender. You're still a girl, you're still a boy. At the end of the day, you were born a girl, you were born a boy, and that is set in stone. I will not accept anybody saying I identify as a boy, I identify as a girl, if you got a beard that's fucking bigger, that's better than mine, because I don't grow facial hair. If you got a fucking beard growing out of your face, and you're born with a pecker in between your legs, you're a boy. I don't care if you had a surgery to get it removed and get a vagina placed in and stuff. You're still a fucking boy, and I'll punch you in the mouth if you followed into the restroom right after my daughter and wife. Okay? And I will punch you in the mouth if you try arguing with me on that point. I don't give a fuck. Okay? That is the line where I draw it, though. However, society, the average form of society may or may not. It may shine upon me, some may agree with me on that. However, that is just what I agree upon. That is just a set standard I've always placed. It is just for me anyways, that's just me, personally, okay? That's just a line that I will never be willing to compromise on. Now, do I believe in, do I believe a man should be with a woman instead of a man with another man and a girl with a girl? I believe a man should be with a woman. I believe that's how that relationship should always go. But would I be willing to accept, if you love another man or if you love another woman, hey, that's fine by me. I really don't care, if you're into the same sex. I really don't care. I'm willing to accept that type of discrepancy within my standards that I've built upon myself. But there are some standards I will not change for society whatsoever. Okay, that's just me. Okay, and you gotta find those type of standards and stick with it. Because if you don't, let me tell you, if you guys don't, then you give an inch to somebody trying to conform you, or somebody trying to force their ideas on you, they'll take a yard. All right, you give an inch, they'll take a yard. All right, so you gotta create those standards and create what those type of things for you. So tying that back into normal, to societal norm, right? Is we're lucky enough that societal norm is a broader definition, right? We're lucky that societal norm is a broader definition. However, we are unlucky because of that, because our standards, a lot of people's standards have not changed to fit that societal norm. right? And that's where the conflicts start rising, because the standard is refusing to change with the broader definition of societal norms from individuals. See, and it's very weird, because the standard from person to person will change very easily throughout day to day. However, societal norms takes a while for that cultural shift to actually change. Okay, so we just have to I don't know, man. It's just weird, honestly. It's just super weird as to how this is all set, how it all came about being. If we went back like 100 years, if we go back to 1921, and the drastic changes in the world in 1921 versus the changes now, our society is very young and very chaotic, because it changes drastically if you look at it from a historical standpoint. For instance, the idea of refrigeration and microwaves and freezer storage and things of that nature didn't really come about till very recently, honestly. And like the idea of like supermarkets and things of that nature didn't really like exist. I mean, markets have always existed and stuff, but the idea of markets being the go-to place for everybody to get their supplies and stuff is not very true. But the idea of the market being for larger groups has always been true. For rural areas, it's never been true until the advent of recent years. And it's just weird to think about it and see it and stuff, because for us it seems like it's normal. It seems like it's a way of life, a way of habit. However, we go back 20 years and I show somebody this iPhone I'm recording on and how to work it. Yeah, I could do that, but could I show them the inner workings of it? Could I show them exactly how an iPhone should be used? Like exactly how an iPhone works? Absolutely not, because hey, but that's just me. That's just some weird thing, and I just started doing all of a sudden and stuff. So what are you guys thinking? And go ahead and just let me know what you guys think about it. And why don't you go ahead and just give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And look forward to the next video. And as always, work hard. Peace.